Good evening, everyone. So thank you so much for taking time in your schedule to join today's webinar. My name is Andi Clee, and I'm a team leader in the high net worth segment based in Orlando, Florida. We appreciate you taking the opportunity to learn about Fidelity and the different career paths we have available for both licensed Series 7 professionals and for individuals who do not have a license but are interested in gaining some experience in the financial services. Before we get started, let's quickly review today's agenda. First, we'll take some time to introduce you to our panelists. We'll share a little bit about our own career journeys here at Fidelity. We'll talk about Fidelity as a company, as well as our work culture. Next, we'll walk through the valuable benefits that we can take advantage of as Fidelity associates. We'll discuss what it means to have a career at Fidelity as a Series 7 licensed professional. We'll cover opportunities and talk about the level of support our associates have, as well as the services and solutions we can offer to help our clients' financial well-being. And finally, we're here to answer your questions. So located at the bottom of your webinar window, you should see the Q&A option where you can submit questions anytime throughout today's session. We'll work to answer your questions as we make our way through the presentation, as well as during our open Q&A portion at the end. So right now, we're actively hiring new associates to join our team. Our business is growing. We need additional staff to support and take care of our customers. Right now, we're hiring across the country. We also have licensed positions available in several new remote locations, which we'll talk about in a bit. If you're interested in learning more about these opportunities after the session, we'll be following up with every attendee here via email. During the pandemic, many associates were working from home and still are. We're conducting all interviews virtually, hiring, onboarding remotely. Throughout today's sessions, we hope you'll hear how committed we are to safeguarding the health and well-being of our customers and associates, as well as the potential candidates like yourself. So let's introduce our presenters. Who are we? So today, representing Fidelity, we have Sierra Perron and Karisa Terrion, our awesome regional talent champions. From the business side, we have Kevin Barbosa, advisory services leader, and me, Andi Clee, representing the high net worth space. So let's move to the next slide, who Fidelity is. I love this slide on who Fidelity is. It highlights a few of the many things that differentiate us from the competition. Personally, it's meaningful and a point of pride to me that 1 in 4 Americans have their assets with Fidelity. Just think about that for a moment. That's significant. Fidelity truly is a leader among top financial services firms. A quick story, I've been working in the financial services industry for over 25 years, and we're always required to have our accounts with our employer. But at my last firm, I was surprised my 401k was with Fidelity. This was around 15 years ago. I remember thinking, how odd. And I thought, why weren't we custodying our assets there? And again, this was a major financial services firm. I was swiftly, again, this is a competitor of Fidelity, told that we use Fidelity because Fidelity is the best in the 401k custodial space. And that always stayed with me. As you can see on the right-hand side of the screen, we're a top company to work for, voted by our employees year over year. You can see that affirmed, very prestigious list on the right-hand side of the slide. Lastly, I wanted to mention, it's not on this slide, but I recently passed my 1-year anniversary mark. Hands down, Fidelity is the most fair and ethical company I've worked for in my professional career. It truly is a meritocracy. You'll hear that from some of our other leaders here. Regardless of your background, experience, time and role, who you know, it doesn't matter. If you work hard, performing well, helping our customers, you will be recognized and rewarded accordingly. So right now, I'd like to pass this off to Sierra. She's going to talk a little bit about our solutions and services offerings. Sierra?
Thank you, Andi. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. My name is Sierra Perron. I've been with Fidelity for almost 7 years. It'll be 7 years in October. And I am one of our regional center talent champions. So I get to interview all of you great folks and make those hiring decisions. But my favorite part about my role is really being able to share that context of what it's like to work here at Fidelity and what some of those opportunities are. So a little bit about some of the solutions and offerings that we have here at Fidelity. Our one-to-one guidance is strong. Lifelong client relationships with our clients are reasons why Fidelity is successful. We're focused on doing what's right by our clients, and our innovative products and services demonstrate this time and time again. We offer a range of options from simple investment strategies to ongoing financial planning and advice. We're here for our clients and making sure that whatever they need at any point in their life, we are here for them. Let's talk a little bit about life at Fidelity. So over my 7 years here at Fidelity, I've been able to enjoy a lot of these offerings and just what it's like to work here and create that culture. At Fidelity, you enjoy benefits that make a real impact on your life and the lives of others. There's more to a job than just the job. And we all know that. So there's a feeling that you get from making a direct impact on clients' lives and our associates' lives. There's a sense of accomplishment that you have when your company takes care of you way beyond that paycheck. When you work at Fidelity, you have a career that helps change lives for the people around you and the benefits that change yours. At Fidelity, you're part of a team and part of the Fidelity family. You're not an army of one. We are a resource-rich firm, and we support and develop you to thrive more than you ever thought possible. And that starts day one through our onboarding process, all the way up until you're ready to make that next move in your career internally. Another big key is diversity and inclusion is extremely important for us here at Fidelity, and it's in all that we do. We have employee resource groups, which I'll talk about a little bit here in a bit, that provide connection and collaboration between teams and associates. And I'll take you through those groups a little bit later. This is noble work that we do here at Fidelity. We provide outstanding service to our clients to truly make an impact on their lives. And it's fun to work here. Everyone works together, not apart from each other, and we really do have a good time. Flexibility. We have opportunities for our advisors to support their families while supporting their clients. And we have a lifestyle that works for you. So we definitely value that work-life balance and making sure that, we understand you have a life outside of the day-to-day, and we want to support you in that. Technology is provided to everyone to support our clients wherever and whenever you need it. So whenever you're hired onto Fidelity, we'll send you a full tech bundle with all the hardware that you need to be successful, and we'll make sure you're set up for success with that. Another key piece that I cannot leave on the table is the fact that we are privately owned. We believe that being privately owned gives us an enormous amount of flexibility and advantages that we wouldn't have if we were publicly held. It gives us the opportunity to develop diversified business solutions as opportunities arise, and we're able to ensure the stability of the company. And being private is an attribute that Fidelity has always used to its advantage, and we believe it's the best way to serve our clients, whether they're individual investors, employers like Andi's last employer, and institutions and fellow employees. So let's talk about those employee resource groups. Talk a little bit more about our culture. In addition to the community work, we're also dedicated to fostering that culture and diversity of inclusion within Fidelity. One important way we do this is through our award-winning employee resource groups, or ERGs, as we like to call them. Lots of acronyms here at Fidelity, so get used to it. These groups are self-organized groups of Fidelity employees who have common interests. The resource groups are open to all employees and have a commitment to foster professional and personal development. We currently have 6 ERGs and 4 special interest groups, or SIGs. The fact that you don't have to be a part of one of these groups, these special interest groups, to take a part in some of their events is my favorite part. I've been able to attend an event at any of these ERGs and really have a good experience and have that networking opportunity and meet new people on my team. Within these resource groups, there are leadership opportunities as well. Maybe become a chair or a co-chair of one of these groups and really show some of those leadership skills and develop yourself professionally. I'm actually doing an art tour tomorrow in collaboration with our Aspire group, our Latino and Black resource group, where we're going to focus on our Black artists and our corporate art collection. So that's going to be really exciting. And that's just a little taste of some of the events that we have with those employee resource groups. I wanted to talk about the employee benefits here in a moment. I don't know what happened to the deck, but we'll work through that. Fidelity has an amazing package of flexible benefits and programs for our associates. They're designed to help our associates thrive both inside and out of work. Some of the benefits, we're working on getting those, that tab pulled up here in just a moment, but my favorite benefit is our student loan assistance benefit, which I've taken full advantage of, where Fidelity is helping me pay back my student loans that I took over while I was in college. Another is, if you can kind of hear my lisp, full disclosure, I have Invisalign in, so I've been able to take full advantage of our dental program, which starts day one. I got my dentist and I got my Invisalign, and my dentist said, wow, you have good insurance. I was like, I do? Okay. So things like that, that's really, you know, it seems small, but being able to use some of those benefits day one is truly a game changer. Additional benefits had been added in the past year to support our associates while during the pandemic. We had 5 additional paid relief days to handle some of those unexpected events that came up. We also had a partnership, or we have a partnership with a virtual network of professionals. Great, there's the slides. You all can kind of take a look at that wheel of benefits there. But we have a partnership with a virtual network of professionals to support our employees' mental health and emotional health during some of those more difficult times. And also access to expert elder and child care coordinators that would help you find someone in a pinch if you needed to, while we were having some of those issues during the pandemic. So lots of benefits and you know, opportunities to help our employees, and we're always constantly looking at the benefits. So, you know, a couple of years ago, it was important for us to have a laptop reimbursement program. Well, pretty much we have laptops in our pockets now, so that's not, you know, a relevant benefit anymore. And so we always look at our benefits and make sure they're making sense for our associates. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Kevin to talk about where we're located and how we interact with our clients.
Thank you so much, Sierra, and thank you all for attending. I just want to remind you, there is a Q&A box at the bottom of your Zoom. If you have any questions, you can go ahead and put them in there now. We have some moderators who are answering them on the fly, but we'll also get to a lot of them during the Q&A section. My name is Kevin Barbosa. I'm an advisory services leader. What that means is I run an organization of about 280 associates, where they are helping the clients who have hired us to be in our managed account solution and making sure that we're listening to their goals and that the allocations that we're providing within those accounts match up to achieve those goals. It's funny because about 4 years ago from today, I actually had just finished my first interview here at Fidelity. And I remember leaving that saying, wow, did that seem real? Did I just meet with someone who talked about everything that was important to me? And those two things being, how do we put the client and the associate first at all times? Immediately I was hooked. I was like, this matches up exactly with what's important to me. I had worked in the financial services industry for about 17 years up in the Northeast. And I always looked at Fidelity as a company that I just wondered, how do they do what they do? How are they always so helpful? Similar to Andi, all my 401ks are here. And every time I called, I was like, man, I wish my team was always excited or that helpful when a client called in, and I need to be a part of it. And happy to say that in about 2 months, I'll be go ahead and celebrate my 4 years here at Fidelity. But I want to talk to you a little bit about this slide here, because this is a huge pride point for us. So you'll notice here that we have about 45 regional centers for phone, chat, and email support, and we have 200 plus investor centers. I want you to think about a year and a half, 2 years back, and think about the pandemic and what happened. I remember being here, and Fidelity sent home every single associate within a 4 to 6 week period to help our clients. Technology was provided to them, monitors, laptops, docking stations, everything they needed to help our clients. But this slide 2 years ago, we used to that 45, was really only 12 regional centers, and we were hiring people that could help our clients. And what we said is, hey, we need to do something. Calls are up, people are panicking, and people need to talk to us. We're talking 45-minute hold times, associates working 30 to 40% overtime weekly as they were going through a pandemic, no childcare, having to work through that. So what we did is that we decided that we were going to go out there and say, hey, we need to find some really experienced licensed people who maybe don't have an opportunity to work for Fidelity because we were limited for the opportunities in the areas, and provide them the ability to do the jobs that we needed support for from home. So if you'll see here, all of those locations you see in the black on the left are all associates who are working remotely, helping our clients via phone. Kind of a couple things to point out. We started in Arizona, and I think we hired initially 10 people to see if this would work. Today, Arizona has over 200 associates that just work in the remote regional center on top of our investor center population. In some other areas, we have like Orlando. Orlando has 250 associates, which was 0 about 13 months ago, and about 105 in Charlotte around that same time frame. It just is another testament to Fidelity providing scalability and opportunities to individuals that help better serve our client. Going back to the 2 reasons why I joined Fidelity, putting the client and the associate first. When we move on to the next slide, you might be wondering, if you're new to financial services, like, we have a place for you. So when you're looking at this slide here specifically, I want to walk through some things. The support. I'll say I have a lot of external experience. And I remember as a leader, I thought it was very supportive. And then I got here. And I say that because I remember associate starting day 1, the introduction, I felt that was a great leader. But in hindsight, I would hand them some books and say, I'll see you in 60 days, go pass all 3 of these. And not realizing my associates felt very isolated and unsupportive. And basically said, hey, you're gonna have to do this on your own time, make it work. At Fidelity, we pride ourselves in the way that we onboard associates, making sure that we give them every resource and support to ensure they're successful. So as you can see here, for our unlicensed associates, they spend the first 1 to 4 weeks just getting to know how to do very basic things. How do you answer the phone? How do I set up technology? What are my benefits? What is the Fidelity vision? All of these different things so they can really understand what Fidelity is. After 4 weeks, we then say, let's go ahead and put you through licensing. And yes, we pay you to license, meaning from the day you log in at 8 until 5 o'clock, you are being paid. We have classes that we're doing continuously on each single chapter. We have specific people who their full-time job is to ensure you're successful and pass your exams so you can best help our clients. We get to week 16. Well, guess what? We're now going to start putting you into specific training for your role. Once again, supportive via technology, whether it be on your own standardized, it's kind of like some trainings through web-based features, but also facilitation with an actual facilitator. So making sure along the way you feel very, very, very supportive. And you'll see here, career tracks. Well, what does that mean? Is that there's different ways that you could be successful here. It's all based on what you're passionate about, what you want to do. We have service. So those are individuals taking incoming calls and helping customers with, it could be minimal things with, hey, I just need to know how to place a trade, or hey, I have this really complicated options transactions and I just don't really know how to do it. And then you have our guidance and financial planning. So you have associates that are actually meeting with our clients on a day-to-day basis and helping them understand what's important to you, what are you trying to succeed, and what solution or product can we provide to this client to help them achieve that. And the great thing about our approach is that it's not just for one type of person. We can help everyone who's thinking about starting investing with our youth accounts at 16 with a parent, to those that are starting to think about my legacy and how do I want to transition that generational wealth to the next, to my heirs or future generations. And we make sure we do that across the board. Now, if you move on to the next slide, you might already have a Series 7, like, Kevin, I don't need to go through any of that stuff. Well, that's fine. We're still going to teach you how to be a Fidelity employee. So you spend those first few weeks just getting to know the culture and everything, and then we'll move you into those role specific. But it's interesting to talk about the way our associates work. So you might be wondering, well, are you in person? Are you at home? What does that look like? Well, in our brick and mortar buildings, so our 12 regional centers and our investor centers, and across the company actually, is that we are working on a hybrid work environment where associates are coming in a couple of days a month, and the rest of the time they're working remotely. And we do different things within those 2 different environments to make sure there's engagement there, and that our associates feel like they're part of Fidelity and part of something bigger than just their role. We also have roles that are completely remote. where associates are actually 99.5% of their time they're working remote. And about 4 to 6 times a year, we're actually engaging in real life events, connecting them with their local branch or investor center partners who work in the brick and mortar to drive that culture. And then also we have the face-to-face relationship building. So that's our investor centers where they're meeting with clients in person. And even then, they're still finding situations where they're also being able to work from home and engaging clients that way. Another key thing I think is super important, supportive sales model. At our business, it's not like, hey, this is the product of the day. What do we need to focus on? Right? For us, it's understanding what's the best thing for the client and making referrals to the appropriate associate. Making sure the associates that get referrals are following up with those clients. We also have the scalability for clients to walk in into a branch and say, I have a question, can you help? There's a lot of different ways that we're doing that. But I love this last bullet because I live this life. No cold calling. Fidelity would never ask you to open a phone book or get a paid list and say, call these people and see if we can help them. We are calling clients that have a relationship with Fidelity. We're making sure that we have the right associates in place and enough associates that we can be as proactive as we can be reactive. In client connections, we do this a couple of different ways, whether it be service and support, right? Engagement with clients associates by handling the client inquiries, right? Investment solutions and guidance, engaging clients to help understand what their needs are. Andi mentioned this, workplace and retirement planning, right? Big opportunity for us is we have a lot of clients who have a relationship with us. Interesting fact is, if you think about it, I think 7 out of 10 households in America, someone in that household has a relationship. So think about the next time you're at a family gathering with friends, and think about the fact that maybe 70% of those individuals might have some type of relationship with Fidelity. That was eye-opening for me. Now, if we go to the last slide, we're going to talk about building long-lasting careers. And I have a peer who said it well. There's 2 dates that we look forward to celebrating here at Fidelity. And I've already celebrated one, which is my start date 4 years ago. But the next date is your retirement day from Fidelity. Because those are the 2 things that we're working for and want every Fidelity associate to achieve. And there's so many things you're going to do in that time frame that are going to show that you've made a huge impact from our clients financially, but also reward you personally and be able to achieve your own goals, whether that be taking trips, retiring at a certain age, or be able to do all those fun things you like to do with you and your family, those close to you. But again, at the end of the day, is we want to reward performance. We want to develop leaders, and we are hungry for innovation improvement. What has worked in the past, and how can we make that better? Now, again, whether you're considering a fresh start, a new career, or just looking to get back to the career, getting back to the work, getting back into the workforce, we have a lot of opportunities. So with that being said, I'm going to kick it over to my colleague, Karisa, to talk about what's next.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Kevin, and thank you so much to all the presenters for all the great information that you've given to us so far. At this time, we are going to transition into the Q&A portion of our presentation. Just a quick reminder, we do have that Q&A box at the bottom of your screen. So as we're going through, can think of any additional questions, please feel free to continue to submit them. And thank you to everyone so far who has already sent some questions our way. And we have a few good ones that we want to go ahead and start off with. I did see one that maybe was asking about holding some licenses already, especially if they aren't required for the role that you are coming into. Wondering if Fidelity will hold on to those or not. I'm going to go ahead and just start off by taking this question, as I'm very familiar working in our talent champion space alongside Sierra and focusing on bringing some more great talent into our doors. So we do know that you guys do have licenses that you have worked very hard for in this industry, and there's a lot of work that goes into obtaining those. So definitely, for the most part, when you're coming into Fidelity, if there's licenses that we see value in you being able to utilize in further opportunities, we will hold on to those for you. Definitely not something that you do need to worry about. But if there is some one-off licenses, as we know, those are definitely out there that you're wondering about as you go forward and do apply for different roles, make sure that you're communicating that with your recruiter, because we can definitely do some quick research on our side as well to figure out if that is something that is near and dear to you, if we would be able to hold on to for you. Speaking about the hiring process, there's some good questions about what that looks like and maybe how to best prepare for an interview. So Sierra, I'm actually going to send this one over your way.
Awesome. Thanks, Karisa. So so the hiring process is pretty intuitive. You can we have a lot of support along the way. First step is you got to apply. So go to our fidelitycareers.com website, take a look at the different opportunities that we have available in your area and apply for the role. Now, just because you apply for a role doesn't mean that that's going to be the only opportunity that the only role that you'll be considered for. Part of our role as regional center talent champions is to get to know you, your skills and competencies, and really choose a role that will set you up for that long-term success here at Fidelity. We're building careers here at Fidelity. So the best way to prepare for one of those interviews is to really just reflect on your experience, have some of those really good examples of how you've helped clients or how you've developed in the past, and share that story with us. It is a behavioral based interview, so we'll be asking you those really good tell me about a time when questions. So be ready to answer some of those and let your true self shine. It's a very comfortable environment. We want to hear who you are and what you bring to the table and what you'd like from Fidelity, because it is a very two-way conversation. As much as we are considering you, we want to be a good fit for you as well. So bring those questions and ideas to us. Once you go through your interview, it will be a decision-making interview. So you will have an opportunity to get either an offer or some feedback from the talent champion through your recruiter, and your recruiter will help you with some of those next steps from there.
Awesome. Thank you, Sierra. Really appreciate that information. Kevin, I'm actually going to send this next one your way. There was a question about what sponsorship looked like to help study and cover costs for the CFP examination.
Yeah, Chris, I'd love to answer that. So Fidelity believes in investing in yourself to be a better associate, help you be more successful, and to help our clients. So the CFP is one of those designations that we definitely encourage our associates to take advantage of it. We also help you financially. So we reimburse different things like cost for courses, books, exam fees, continuing education, prep courses, exam review courses, a couple things to just mention off the top of my head. But very much so, we feel like that's a designation in this industry that's very important. Obviously, we ask that associates are doing very well in their role, and for us is that we want to set you up for success. So we will support as much as possible when it comes to designation, specifically like the CFP.
Oh, sorry about that. Awesome. Thank you, Kevin. Actually, while I've got you off mute, there's another one I want to send your way. Someone was asking about what opportunities we have available for remote work, and do they need to be near or close to a Fidelity office to qualify?
Hey, Chris, another really good question I'm happy to answer. So we have 35 different cities that we offer 100% remote work. So basically what that means is that we have roles in our service space. Think of like a high net worth role where you're helping clients with some simple or complex service needs, all the way up to some planning roles where you're helping clients understand how we can help them from solutions, or even running some planning tools for them to help them understand how they could best what plan they need to put in place to be successful. And those roles are online. So if you're going Fidelity Careers, you'll be able to look up the location that you're in, and it'll flat out say right there, hey, this is a remote opportunity. Go ahead and apply for it.
Perfect, Kevin. Thank you for elaborating on that for me. Sierra, I've got another one I'm going to send your way here. A lot of companies are looking at going back into the office. I'd love to hear how Fidelity is handling going back in person.
Yeah, good question. So Fidelity, first of all, definitely values the safety of our associates, right? So we're making sure that we're creating environments where people feel comfortable going back to work. Kevin mentioned before that we do have associates coming in at least 3 days a month to collaborate with one another, connect with their teams, have team meetings in person, because we truly value that in-person connection, especially in our brick and mortar regional centers. We do have those remote locations where you will not be asked to go back into the office for those 3 months. So that's not going to be the case, but for those brick and mortar regional center locations, that's going to be going forward. We're calling it, it's called dynamic working, where you'll come in 1 week out of every month for 3 days and connect with your peers in person. I've been able to take a full advantage. I went back in last weekend last week for the first time in 2 years. And it was so nice to just walk around and see my peers and have those connections. So there's lots of opportunities and events going on while you're in the office to make it really valuable for you.
Awesome. Super, Sierra. Thank you so much for that information. Andi, I'm going to send a question your way here. I would love to hear, as a team leader, what are a few qualities a top performer might have on your team?
Good question. So really just a couple of things, and it's not rocket science, but are you coachable? Are you engaged? Are you present, sharing with others? So each team, no matter what your role is at Fidelity, you're going to have a set of goals. But if you're coachable, engaged, and present, and you're going to be successful. So obviously, I do want you to be meeting the goals we've set for you. That's going to look like a top performer, but that's just a little part of that. And I do want to mention, it kind of segues into the support and training. So by the time, whatever role you're hired into, you're going to go to your team. And I believe Kevin mentioned it, but you're going to get a lot of training, more than I've seen in this industry. You're going to go through training, whether you're licensed or not. You're going to be with an onboarding team. By the time you get to your team and with your team leader, and I'm a team leader, by the way, you've already been through several months of training. They even put the new leaders through training. So I get to see what my associates go through, but that's a sidebar. But so you're very well trained. And then once you get to the team, then there's more coaching, more career vitality. I'm sorry, I'm really getting off track, but I'm so excited about just the opportunities. I mean, in my short time as a leader here, 5 people have been promoted. And I mean, the career vitality is amazing. So I hope that answered the question.
It absolutely did, Andi. Thank you so much for that information. Kevin, I've got another one I'm going to send over your way, but I'd love to have you shed some light on what the culture looks like at Fidelity.
So it's interesting that you asked me that question, and I go back to a story. So 4 years ago, it's my 3rd week at Fidelity, and I walked into a meeting, and there was a question that my boss had asked our teammates, like, "Hey, does anyone know about this?" And I walked into that meeting, and I was like, "I know the answer." Like, I spent like 2 hours trying to figure it out, and I was like, "I got this. I'm gonna walk in," and I shared it. Well, I had a colleague who had been out when the question was asked, and the colleague approached me afterwards. He's like, "Hey, where'd you find that information?" I was like, "Oh, I found it here." Like, it took me like 2 hours. And the colleague said, "Hey, I was surprised that you didn't reach out to me and ask me the question." And I was kind of caught off guard. I was like, what's going on? Well, let's go back, rewind to week 1. That leader and I had about a 30-minute conversation, and he said to me at the time, he's like, "If you ever need anything or have any questions, let me help you save you some time and just ask me. I'd rather you take 2 or 3 minutes out of my day to save you time." And I didn't do that. And he reminded me of like, hey, at Fidelity, when someone says, "Hey, reach out if you have any questions," it's not a line. And that's what I was used to. It was like everyone just said they wanted to help. At Fidelity, everyone really does. Because at the end of the day, if I, as a leader, can make associates better, happier, more engaged, our clients are going to be happier. And it's going to help everybody else. And that just kind of talks to everything. And I go back to Sierra talking about the ERGs. One of the greatest things that I've done here at Fidelity is I'm a national co-lead for our Fidelity Pride branch and remote sector. And making sure that, those associates feel like they have a community within Fidelity that has nothing to do with their job, but just being who they are and embracing that. And the culture is just, what can you bring to the table? What makes you different? It's not just about, can you talk about a mutual fund or place a trade, but is what do you, as one of the 60,000 Fidelity individuals, bring to our company that we could harness and bring forth?
Awesome, Kevin. Thank you so much for that. Sierra, I've got one I want to send your way, but I'd love to have you share with us a little bit more about what career pathing could look like at Fidelity.
Awesome. Yeah, great question, Karisa. So career pathing here at Fidelity is blaze your own trail. Like you'll see that around the marketing, and it's true. So from a start in any of our roles, you're able to develop those skills within your role, and then through that partnership with your leader, develop whatever skills you'd like to move on to that next role. So you're continuously going through what that process looks like in career vitality. Some next steps, some natural like buckets from some of these service-based roles that we like to share is, maybe you like to stay on that service path, but work with a subset of clients, maybe work with our active traders or work more in that middle office space, supporting our branch partners. Another path looks like planning and advice. Maybe you want to go down that sales path and really help our clients reach those goals through different products and solutions. So we've got our investment solutions representative role, our client management representative role, where you're working with those managed account clients and developing those conversations. And the third path, I'd say, these are again, just like that's just three main paths. The third path I'd say is leadership. So being that leader on your team, showing some of those skills, maybe you'll become a help desk associate where you're that subject matter expert for certain processes and developing that technical expertise, or becoming a team leader like Andi and leading a team of producers on your own. So those are the three main paths, but there's an opportunity that you see, talk to your leader about it and ask them what resources they can provide to you to help you get to that next role.
Awesome, Sierra. And as a quick follow-up, I'd love to have you share a little bit more in thinking about that career pathing. What are the expectations for time and role, or maybe average tenure that an associate might spend in the position?
Yeah, absolutely. So expectations for time and role especially in the remote space, the expectation would be 9 months time in seat before being eligible for eligible for competing for other opportunities. But that doesn't mean that conversation starts right at that 9-month mark, right? Your leader is going to be very focused on where you'd like to go and how they can help you. So 9-month time in seat requirement. And I'd say for all of our roles, it's about a 12 to 18-month average tenure. You learn a lot of information. We spend a lot of time training you and getting you set up for success for the role that you're doing today. So that takes time. And then you've got to show a couple of quarters of proficiency in the role, be able to put that up before and going into that internal interview and giving that opportunity to tell your story.
Great information, Sierra. Thank you so much for that. Kevin, I'm going to come back to you with this question, but we had someone wondering about what types of sales roles we do offer right now that are 100% remote.
Yeah, absolutely. We have a few currently. So we have our investment solutions representative, and I like to call that the tip of the spear. So we have a population of associates who can help our clients with any planning needs that are under $250,000. So you could call in and say, hey, I want to open up a new account. That associate would say, great, you reached the right place. We're more than happy to help you with that. Tell me a little bit more about what you're looking to accomplish. What's the goal for this money? How would you like to use this money if you could? And then talking through, all right, let's run a couple of tools, maybe some analysis on the retirement, see if they're on pace. And then we'd actually be able to go through, help you open the account, initiate a transfer of assets, and then tell you how you should allocate that money once it comes into the account. So within about 20 to 25 minutes, we can help our clients get invested in a solution that help meet their goals. Other ways of welcoming our clients could be in our advisory services spaces. So these are clients that typically have already hired, let's say, Fidelity to manage their assets. And we have a team of individuals on a day-to-day basis are helping clients and having reviews of those accounts, understanding if there's anything fundamentally that's changed in their overall plan or life that would have us make any changes in that account and make recommendations in that space. Lastly, we also have central relationship managers. Now, central relationship managers, their prime responsibility is they're keeping the calendars and the books engaged, the calendars full of our financial consultants, and keeping our clients engaged. So I like calling it engaging the unengaged clients. So they're proactively reaching out to our clients who are already working with our financial consultants in a more one-to-one relationship, and making sure that we're delivering on the expectations of meeting with them, whether it be once a year, twice a year, or 4 times a year, but also making sure that they're connecting the dots and getting them in front of their planners to have the conversations.
Excellent, Kevin. Thank you so much for that great information. Andi, I'm going to come back your way. You started to talk a little bit earlier about what training looked like, but I'd love to give you some more. I would love to have you give us some more insight into what support and training does look like at Fidelity.
Sure, I can definitely answer that. And right now at RCS, which is our remote space, we are hiring licensed. That could expand to unlicensed. But so what that looks like is you come on board Fidelity already licensed, and your training starts immediately. You're part of a cohort group, and you're learning and then getting to practice what you learn. Then you're learning again, practicing what you learn on the clients. So depending on the role you have, it could take anywhere between 3 and 6 months, all while having a whole team of people helping you. Your onboarding leader, you'll get introduced to your final destination manager, I guess I should say, that gives you support, but so much training resources, all virtual, online, state of the art, really, really fantastic training. And then that doesn't stop. Once you come to the team, there's so much flexibility, time given. So especially I manage a service team. It's not just phone call after phone call. No, we give associates time to hone their skills off the phone. Let's learn just several hours a week to help fine tune their skills.
Awesome, Andi. Thank you so much for that. Kevin, I'm going to come back your way. You had spoken to us a little bit earlier about some information regarding the CFP examination. There was a follow-up regarding what it looked like as far as how much time might be required before one can take advantage of the CFP studies.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's actually 90 days from the date of hire. And what we ask for from that perspective is that the associate should be in good standing. But after 90 days, if you've been doing what we're asking you to do and performing well, we will support you for that. As well as our tuition reimbursement. And Sierra, you can hold me honest to this, but I think that's now day 1 that we're offering this, or is it still 90 days? So we do offer tuition reimbursement as well, which is a little bit separate than the CFP, but that helps our associates also want to further their education. I think I saw one other question that might have said, hey, are we hiring for people in college? We actually have a lot of people who are starting to work at Fidelity as they go through college, because we offer a lot of different flexibility in shifts, either working weekends or a couple of days during the week in a full-time capacity. And they've actually found it to be very helpful to kind of get a head start, be in the workforce, but then also being able to use some of that tuition reimbursement to help pay out some of that extra to it, or that taking out without having to take on extra loans to pay for their education.
Awesome, Kevin. Thank you so much for that additional information. It looks like that's all the questions that we would have. So the last thing I want to leave our panelists with is just having them share what maybe some of their favorite experiences or things have been about working here at Fidelity within their time. And Andi, I'm going to go ahead and have you start us off with that one.
Okay, great. Now, happy to. And that's easy. I think I might be one of the newer joiners after just passing 1 year. But gosh, it's very hard to pick just one, but I really felt welcomed and part of a family. Like I felt at first I thought, is this real? Not everybody are you really that nice? And everybody's so supportive and, excited to have me on board, but it was true. It's true. I've been here a year now. It hasn't wavered. So that it really is my favorite thing. It's the people. It's the people. It's just how welcomed I feel here. And I learn something every day. It's fantastic.
Awesome. Thank you, Andi. I'm going to go ahead and let Sierra jump in next.
All right, so yeah, definitely I'm in the same boat as Andi. Having to pick one thing or one experience is going to be tough in my tenure. I'll say, of course, the people for sure. And for me, it's that investment in the associate and the associate experience. Time and time again, Fidelity has shown up for us as associates the same way that they've shown up for our clients. The work from home initiative, that was associate led several years ago. We wanted to have that flexibility in our day and our weeks. And so Fidelity said, you know what? Okay, we'll send a tech bundle to your house, the same setup that you have in the office, and you can work 50% of your week from home. And that creates that flexibility. So that's just one example. of how Fidelity shows up for our associates and is always listening to our feedback. And if there's an opportunity where, hey, we're not able to do it right now, they tell us why and where we are in the process, or what other ideas we have. So always thinking about how to enhance that experience and make it truly a great place to work year over year. So that's what keeps me coming back every day.
Awesome, Sierra. I definitely know that I feel the exact same way. A lot of those experiences you and Andi have shared so far are part of the reason why I've been here as long as I have. Kevin, we've shared a lot of great stuff so far, but I'd love to have you share with us some of the things that you've enjoyed about your time here.
Yeah, I would say it's the people, right? It's the fact that the four of us can sit here and have a conversation about our experiences, and they're all very similar. And, you know, when you're able to sit in a room, and I would say I spend a lot of time in meetings with a lot of different people. And the fact that I get to sit in these meetings with people I've never met before. And after 30 minutes, I feel like I have a new best friend or another person I can rely on to help me do my job better, but also to be a resource for me. Knowing that I could literally pick up the phone and say, hey, do you have a second so I can ask a question? We met for 20 minutes one day. And I built so much of those relationships over 4 years. And I remember like being my first day here at Fidelity, and I was like, man, this is gonna be hard. I sat in a room and it was like, every one of my peers was like, I've been here 7 years, I've been here 10 years, I've been here 20 years. And I was like, day one, and I'm worried about fitting in. And I never have felt that way since day one. I've always felt like I was part of something, that my experience mattered and my voice didn't matter. And, you know, the people that I get to work with on a day-to-day motivate me to do better. I can honestly say, and this is going to sound like it's just a line, but I've never left work feeling like I had a bad day. I might have had moments that I never want to live again, but in actuality, like I've learned so much. And I learn every single day, and I'm a better person every day because I work at this company. They challenge me to do that.
Awesome, Kevin. Well, thank you again for everyone who's here with us today. And thank you for our panelists for all the great information that you were able to share with us. Hopefully you guys have been able to see, you know, why we are so passionate about what we do and why we do it. At this time, we have answered all the questions that we are going to. So I'm going to go ahead and hand the mic over to Andi to go ahead and start closing us out.
Thank you, Karisa. And I have to say, I just thought of something, you know, you had me go first the other day, but something Kevin said, and by the way, Kevin had interviewed me. I don't know if you remember Kevin, but his excitement about working for Fidelity was one reason I joined. So just thank you, Kevin. But if you work for Fidelity, you're going to get the chance to make a difference in someone's life. If, as an individual contributor with a client, or as a leader like myself, you know, I can go home at the end of the day. Well, I'm not going home because I work remote, but I'm not driving anywhere, but you're making a difference in someone's lives. And everybody on this panel, everybody who works at Fidelity has a chance to do that. So I wanted to say that. But thank you everybody for your time today. And just a reminder, within 24 to 48 hours, Fidelity will be reaching out to you at your contact information you provided when you registered. Have a great rest of your day. And thank you so much for joining us.